Hello, friends. Until the end of June, we are offering Sleep Tight Premium for 40% off our regular subscriptions. With Sleep Tight Premium, you get more of the stories you love, ad-free listening, and more ways to participate in the show. Come join us at sleeptightpremium.com or follow the link in our show notes. Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. I'd like to say hello to Kalina and Rochelle from Indonesia, and hello to Archie from Melbourne, Australia. Happy belated birthday to Ender, who turned 6 on May 19th. Happy belated birthday to Adam and Emma from San Francisco, California, who turned 7 on May 24th. Happy belated birthday to Grayson, who turned 4 on May 25th. Happy birthday to Nika from Sacramento, who turned 10 on May 29th. Mom is so proud of who you are and is grateful for every moment you have shared. Happy birthday to Mahor, who is turning 4 on May 30th. Happy birthday to Ryan on May 30th. Happy birthday to Marlo from Maple Ridge, who is turning 6. Your mommy, daddy, and Elliot love you so much. Happy birthday to Neo and Newton, twin boys who are turning 11 on May 31st. Happy birthday to Harley Mona from Athy, County Kildare in Ireland, who is turning 4 on June 1st. Lots of love from Mom, Dad, and Sister Alabama. Happy birthday to Stella in kindergarten at Alouette Elementary, who is turning 6 on June 3rd. Happy birthday to Carolina from Portugal, who is turning 8 on June 3rd. From Mom, Dad, Sister Mafalda, and your puppy Tux. And happy birthday to Sophie from Melbourne, Australia, who is turning 9 on June 4th. Happy birthday to you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Shout-outs and birthday wishes are one way we give thanks to our supporters. If you would like to support us and receive more bedtime entertainment like this, all ad-free, please visit our support page at sleeptightstories.org/support. Thank you. Puddles and Splash are back, and it is a beautiful day on Farmer Vernon's farm. The animals are in a hurry to get out and enjoy the fine weather. Puddles and Splash are walking around the fence to see if anything needs to be fixed when they meet Whiskers, who tells them that Bubbles the calf was seen talking to the other cows and seemed upset about something. They head over to the cows to see what is going on. Puddles and Splash help a lonely cow. The animals on Farmer Vernon's farm started to stir. It was early morning, and the cows were stretching and mooing, the chickens cooing, and the pigs snuffing and oinking. Summer mornings on Prince Edward Island were cool and fresh, with heavy dew present on the tall grass. Rubber boots were a necessity when you were out and about, and all the animals could hear Farmer Vernon walk toward the barns with his boots' distinctive soft and slightly squishy sound. Chester the old rooster had slept in, but upon hearing the squishy swish-swish of rubber boots, abruptly woke up and quickly announced the start of the day, lest he be embarrassed by Splash, the big farm dog, opening the door before he formally woke up the animals. While Farmer Vernon was working elsewhere, it was Splash's responsibility to open the barn door. And afterwards, he and Puddles would tend to their daily chores. With a creak and a squeak, the barn door swung wide, revealing another beautiful day full of color to the animals. The sounds of chirping birds and buzzing bees greeted the animals as they got ready to leave. In excitement, the robins, sparrows, and finches flitted about, their wings creating a soft rustle, excited that their friends would be outside to play and play once again. Every summer morning was much the same, with the big animals walking out first, followed by the pigs, and finally the chickens. Unlike in winter, when many of the animals preferred to stay inside, on summer mornings, the animals were in a rush to go out and enjoy the warm sun. Splash guided them safely out the door, lest someone got underneath a large cow's hooves. Okay, I know you are all excited, but let's be safe. We don't want any unfortunate accidents. So big animals first, and the rest need to be patient. The sun will still be there waiting for you, barked Splash, who was called this name because he seemed happiest when playing in the water when he was a young pup. Hurry, one of the chickens said, trying to peck and poke at the cow's legs to make them move faster and faster. I'm hungry and fresh food awaits. You haven't stopped eating all night, Chester the rooster said from the top of one of the rafters in the barn. I don't know about that. I think I had an excellent sleep, was the reply from the impatient and hungry chicken. There are no early bird specials in the barnyard. Take your time before Splash gets upset, Chester said as he huffed and puffed, showing that he was one of the conductors of the morning's procedures. Though a little disappointed, the chicken slowed down and waited with the other chickens and pigs as the cows jumped and ran out the barn door so they could play in the fields. Though really big, cows often act like large dogs and love to run around and play games. The fastest cow was Bubbles, a calf who was always causing all kinds of mischief throughout the day. Next, the clucking chickens fluttered out, followed by the oinking pigs, led by Puddles, the youngest of the drove. Puddles was now Splash's helper, after proving himself time and time again to not only have a good heart, but in how he was always willing to help others. The animals at Hampshire Farm were smart and playful, often inventing games to pass the time. They were allowed to come and go as they pleased and were generally very happy. During the cold days of winter, the cows tended to get a little cranky. Farmer Vernon wouldn't let them go out and play in a snowstorm, which didn't seem fair to them. Today, everyone knew the weather was going to be a scorcher, a super warm and sunny day, so no soccer matches were planned. But even so, some of the young calves were already punting the big blue ball around the field. When everyone was settled into their morning routine, Splash walked over to Puddles and said, "Are you ready to start our chores, Puddles?" "Just about," he replied with a mouthful of potato and carrot peel, some apple, and other feed Farmer Vernon had left out for the pigs' breakfast. Loud snorts and sloppy munches could be heard at the trough. The pigs were always hungry. "Okay, when you are finished, meet me at the barnyard gate and we will get started," Splash said. When Puddles had finished his breakfast, he quickly trotted over to the barnyard gate where Splash was sitting proudly, chest high, watching over all the animals, making sure that they all played safely, and as always, he was alert in case Puck the fox came by to do something sneaky. "So, what do we need to do this morning, Splash?" Puddles asked. "We need to walk along the eastern fence and make sure that all is well. Farmer Vernon is mending some of the other fences today and would like to make all repairs at once if he could." Splash and Puddles made their way along the fence, their tails wagging in unison, their hooves and paws patting softly on the fresh green grass. Splash wasn't very talkative this early in the morning. Still, it gave Puddles a chance to appreciate the sprawling green and red fields and the yellow flowers that lined their way. Splash's snout twitched with curiosity as he smelled all the freshness of the farm in the air. Summer on the farm was magical. On the way, they talked to the birds, the field mice, and Whiskers, the old farm cat, full of scars and missing hair, who had been living on the farm longer than anyone could remember. Some of the animals thought he might be older than the farm itself. "Seen any problems with the fence?" Splash asked. "Not that I can see, but I've been busy teasing the field mice. Keeps me looking young," Whiskers said jokingly. "But I did see that mischievous young calf Bubbles making a fuss about something. Likely he was somewhere where he shouldn't be." "The day has only started and he is causing trouble already?" Splash sighed. "Well, I best be off," Whiskers said abruptly. "It's time for my beauty sleep." "Enjoy your nap," Puddles said. "Let's go see what the trouble with Bubbles is this morning," Splash said as they crossed the field through the gate just behind them. They arrived a short time later in the field just outside the barn to see Bubbles talking excitedly to one of the elder cows. Usually the older cows don't look so concerned when talking to Bubbles and prefer to listen while still eating. But this time, Bubbles had her full and undivided attention. "So, what's up? I heard from Whiskers that there might be some kind of problem," Splash asked, readying himself for news of Bubbles' possible mischief. "Yes, I was playing in the field out back," Bubbles started, then stopped when he realized he had just admitted to being in one of the back fields by himself. Young animals were not allowed to go to the back fields alone. "Continue," Splash said with a sigh. "Well, I saw a strange cow all by herself by the woods. By the sound of her voice, she didn't sound very happy." "You sure she isn't from a neighboring farm?" Splash asked. "Us cows all know all the neighboring farms' cows. The elders are always gossiping, and besides, their back field doesn't go as far back as ours. No, she is most certainly a stray." "All right, Puddles and I will go and investigate. You stay here with the herd. We don't want any more incidents with Puck the fox." Splash and Puddles hurriedly walked toward the back field. Like many old farms on Prince Edward Island, Farmer Vernon's farm was narrow and deep. So, While you could cross the farm fairly quickly, it would take Splash and Puddles some time to get to the back field. Puddles was a fast pig, but not as fast as Splash, so he was a bit out of breath by the time they arrived. He didn't complain, as he didn't want to let Splash down. "There's the cow," Splash announced. "Let's go over and say hello." Noticing that Puddles looked a bit tired, he added, "And you can have a little rest." As they approached, the cow looked frightened. Splash knew enough about animals on the farm to approach the cow calmly and slowly, but she still flicked her tail and started mooing. "Puddles, why don't you get closer alone? She may have had a bad experience with an unfriendly farm dog in the past, and we don't want her to feel uncomfortable." Puddles walked slowly, and, when he got closer, said, "Hello, my name is Puddles, and I live on Farmer Vernon's farm. Are you lost?" The cow studied Puddles for a minute while swishing its tail back and forth and chewing its cud. "My name is Betsy. I'm not lost because I am not going anywhere. I used to belong to Farmer Billings' farm, but when they retired, all the animals were taken away except for me. I think the new farm owners forgot about me, so I decided to go on an adventure when I saw an opening in the fence. That was last year. And while I have enjoyed exploring the fields and forests, I often miss having the opportunity to play with other cows. And, well, it's been kind of lonely," Betsy said with a tinge of sadness in her eyes. "I'm sorry to hear that, Betsy. You don't need to be lonely anymore. You can come and join our farm, and I am sure we will be the best of friends. No one needs to play alone when there are others to play with," Puddles said. "Are you sure? I'm an odd-looking heifer. Maybe no one will want to talk to me or be my friend," Betsy said, unsure if Puddles' offer could really be true. "Don't you worry. All of us animals on Farmer Vernon's farm are different from one another. There are chickens and pigs of all shapes and sizes, all kinds of cows, too. We still all get along and play together all the time, like a great big family. Sometimes we disagree or get upset, but Splash helps us resolve our differences, and we still have a great time." Splash approached and said, "Why don't you follow us to the barnyard, Betsy? You can meet the rest of the animals, have some fresh grass, and decide if you would like to stay. I'll talk to Farmer Vernon about your situation." "Okay. Do you think Farmer Vernon will let me stay if I want to?" Betsy asked, now with a bit of excitement in her eyes. "I can't say for sure, but he is very kind and cares about all the animals. You will be very happy with how we all treat each other." Splash, Puddles, and Betsy all walked together through the fields of grass toward the barnyard, stopping every once in a while to give Puddles a break. Puddles had to work twice as hard with his smaller legs to keep up. Puddles was more adept at sprinting over short distances. When they arrived, all the animals stopped what they were doing and came forward to greet Betsy, and she was led by the cow elders to the fresh hay and water in the trough. She was also introduced to the salt block and everyone's favorite scratching post. "I'm going to go and talk to Farmer Vernon," Splash said to Puddles. "Do you think it will be a problem if she stays?" Puddle replied. "I don't think so, unless someone has been looking for her. I know Farmer Vernon well, and he does love animals." The next morning, as usual, the cows were stretching and mooing, the chickens cooing, and the pigs snuffling and oinking. Soon after Chester announced, this time he didn't sleep in, the start of the day, Splash brought news that Betsy was to become a permanent member of the family. As she already had a reputation for being a fast trotter, the other cows immediately started arguing about whose team she would play on during the morning's game of soccer. And that's the end of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.